Playoff season rolls on into the den at Centennial High School. Second round action of Section 5 4A. We're not one, but two of our teams still alive in the tournament. We're focused tonight on the 1 seed in the tournament, taking on the number 4 seeded Champlin Park Rebels. It's Centennial, it's Champlin Park, a rematch of a regular season matchup and a well-worn rivalry over the years in girls basketball. Good evening, J.W. Cox alongside John Hatton, our entire North Metro TV crew. John, this is clearly a Cougar team that expects to be right here, and more so, they expect to be in the next game too, battling for a championship in Section 5, but a tough opponent playing well of late, standing in their way at Champlin Park.
It's good to set your sights high, to have high expectations for yourselves and your team, and then you have to go out and execute, and that's exactly what tonight is about. This is the semifinal round. They need to bring their A game to this matchup against Champlin Park. You cannot sleep on anybody when it's win or go home time.
It is the 1 seed and the 4 seed, so Centennial got the first round victory over Osseo 82-54. Champlin Park held off the 5 seed Park Center 72-61. That bottom half of the bracket, that's what I was talking about. Spring Lake Park will try to upset Roseville tonight as well in the 3-2 matchup. Winners to meet Thursday in the championship of Section 5, and of course the winner of that headed on to the state tournament. Cougars are 18-1. They went 5-0 so far in Section 5 under second-year head coach Jamie Sobolik. Champlin Park Rebels 11-8. They went 4-3 in section play under first-year head coach Arthur Crutch. They won their last 5 games, though, averaging close to 75 points a contest. It's a red-hot Champlin Park team off a win over Park Center against the homestanding Cougars. The tip is up and controlled. Alicia Bates has it for Champlin Park before it's stolen away by Centennial. First takeaway by Marissa Frost. She'll be one of those players to try and execute this Cougar defense, John. They've got some length out there, so yeah, they've got scorers, but they can also defend the lights out at times as they've allowed just 49 points a game. That was number 1 in Section 5.
Well, they're going to need to bring that against a team that's scoring the way you just illustrated Champlin Park is, and both these teams not really starting super strong offensively with a turnover each side.
Well, they've got that out of the way, so the coaches can, pound the floor, now look up, and we'll all move on after the teams trade turnovers. It's back to Champlin Park. The drive and kick, Michaela Counts had it for just a moment. She was the top scorer in their first round win. Leaves it off to Fitzpatrick, one of their top 3 scorers this season. Back to Counts, she'll drive and finish. Counts with the bucket. And that will make it a 2-0 lead for Champlin Park. Poked away on the near side. Quick hands by the Rebels and Alicia Bates.
Centennial, it's not necessarily super important to answer right away from a scoreboard standpoint, but from a mental standpoint.
3-pointer missed. Jenna Geyer, the rebound, the putback, and the bucket for the Division I bound senior. Geyer had 7 double-doubles this season. Gets on the glass, puts it back home, and we're tied at 2 with a free throw coming for the senior.
Alicia Bates called for the personal.
Free throw is no good. So Champlin Park back down the floor with it. Knocked away, but right back into the grasp of a Rebel, and up with it goes Michaela Counts, and she's got the first 4, just like she opened up the scoring in that first round matchup with 19 to key that 72-61 victory.
She's gotten to the basket both times. Good penetration by Counts.
Camille Cummings, she can be an outside threat, drives it there to start the offense, kicks it back out, cubes back to Cummings. Trying to get to the high post. Been tough going in there. Quick hands for the Rebels a couple of times, making things tough. Double team right around it. Goes Cubes, and she'll lay it up and lay it in.
Nicely done. She had a little fake at the beginning of that. I think she could have taken off from the start and headed right to the hoop. Either way, she had plenty of room when she got to the basket.
Tied at 4 apiece. Wild drive and a miss for Amaya Doree. Cougars, well, they look to get out and run.
There's not been a lot of that so far.
Right.
Champlin Park's done a good job of getting back defensively.
Jody Anderson finds Cummings in the corner, put up the 3 and couldn't hit it. Rebound bounds into the corner for Counts, or excuse me, that's Bates, and she'll make her way up the floor. Bumping foul going to be called on Jody Anderson. Whistle on the Cougars. We're just over a minute gone here, tied at 4 apiece. Both teams trying to find a rhythm here in the den. Cougars with the #1 scoring offense for the balance of the season. Into the post for Maya Fitzpatrick. She turns with that right hook, and you can see why the senior would average 11 per game. Good look, just wouldn't fall down. 3-ball right side back for the Cougars. Frost can't hit it. The defensive rebound cleared out by Counts. 3 that time comes up short for Steph Arud. Her first shot. She averaged 11 per game. Another one of the seniors on this team. 3 to play significant minutes for the Rebels. 15-20 to go here. Mid-post. Good pass out of that mid-post to a cutting Frost, and the freshman is fouled. And she'll go to the free throw line. Something that Jenna Geyer does. She can distribute as well out of the post, and that time creates this opportunity.
That was all by design. You give the ball in the high post, you let the cutter come down low. Good feet and actually decent defense initially, because in the person-to-person defense, they were right on Frost. However, contact down the stretch, down the lane, leads to the free throw opportunities.
First one good. Second one bounces out. So Frost goes 1 of 2. Quickly up the floor and turned over by Champlin Park.
He's passed to nobody really in that situation, and that draws a timeout from Champlin Park.
So the Rebels a little more discombobulated on offense so far, with a couple of turnovers against them to this point. So they'll take the timeout and look at it here. These Cougars, they come in here. We talked about the defense, but the offense has helped key them to an 8-game win streak. Their lone loss goes all the way back to the 19th of February. Their second-year head coach, when Elk River got them for that lone loss of the season, but a loss that the Cougars would then come back and avenge on March the 9th. And this is how dominant they've been at times, John. Only 2 games decided by less than 9 points, even in those wins, averaging wins by 18 points a contest. Following up a 21-win season last year with an 18-win campaign to this point.
You're going to look at the different huddles. You could see Coach Jamie Sobolik talking to the Centennial Cougars, all spread out. They brought him in a little closer on the other side for Coach Arthur Crutch.
Cougars with the basketball out of the timeout. It was off a turnover. Trying to get their own offense working. Last time beautifully drawn up to get it to Geyer inside. This time Cummings drives. She's turned away. Back to Champlin Park.
How about Frost having to guard the point guard on the other side right at the top? And that's a lot of work for the freshman going up against the experience on the other side.
Drive down, nearly knocked away by Geyer, but ends up back outside. 3-ball Doreen, no good. Neither one of these teams has hit a 3 yet. Rebels pursuing the Cougars full court there for just a moment. Cummings, the crossover in the lane, left hand too strong. Good takes a couple of times, but both misses. Outlet 1-on-2. Doreen got in the lane and traveled.
Yeah, it started 1-on-2 and it finished about 1-on-4 with her walking through the paint. Good job getting back by Centennial.
Back to the Cougars, try that mid-post. Handoff goes back to Anderson. Flip it to the left side. Down goes Anderson to finish.
Nicely done. The cutting for Centennial has been the strength so far. You talked about how both these teams might like to run if they get the opportunity, but so far Centennial has looked good in the half court.
Jumper from the free throw line, too strong that time. Fitzpatrick can't get it going. She's had a couple of near misses on good looks. Counts has all 4 for them. Cougars now have 4 different scorers for their 7 points.
You got a mask issue, so they're going to stop play.
Anderson's mask.
It seems like it came apart.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just going to get her a new one. So she's got like a plastic piece that goes inside near her mouth to give her a little more space. I don't know if you've done any heavy work in a mask, but the cloth will just like suck right into your mouth when you're breathing heavily. So that little piece probably helps a lot.
Can't have that. Rainy day, don't want them wet either. Anderson drives, right side, put it up, couldn't get it to go. Geyer back to the offensive glass, her second offensive rebound. That's going to potentially turn into points here. She'll go back to the free throw line.
I mean, she's absolutely got a size advantage in this matchup from what we're seeing on the starters for Champlin Park. So good job of taking advantage of it, positioning herself to get these opportunities.
At the 7 double-doubles, that's not even all of her, that is rather all of her double-figure rebounding games as she hits the first free throw 13 times, including 6 straight. She's gone double figures in points, has Jenna Geyer. Just edged out by Camille Cummings, by the way, though, for top 2 in scoring behind Jody Anderson, the #1 leading scorer. That can flip-flop back every game as Geyer hits both of those. 4 for her in the first half.
She's got a nice little shot. You can see why she might be playing at the next level, because it's not just about what she does inside. Nice stroke.
Counts for 3, no good. Rebound secured underneath by Cubes. Yeah, we talked a lot last Saturday about Spring Lake Park players and the transitions they've made as Anderson goes to the bucket from the low block right and can't finish. A lot of credit to Jenna Geyer, the way she's developed her game, not just a big body down there. She's developed this skill year by year here for the Cougars.
Well, this is a program that's turned out some pretty good bigs in recent years, and she's just another in that line.
Controls the glass there off the Doree miss. Headed down towards 12.5 remaining. Cougars not hitting everything, but getting the better looks here, and the reach-in foul is going to come on Michaela Counts. Check that, Izzy John called for the reach-in. John, a junior post. Amelia Valentino will check into the game for the Rebels, along with Haley Mulberry, junior for Coach Sobolik.
It was time to get the 15s into the game.
Absolutely. Here at the 12-20 mark. Coach Sobolik, his second year, he was on staff prior to that. Taking the head job, keeping this team rolling here. And you mentioned it, they've turned out good bigs, they've turned out good players. As Geyer down the lane, just can't get it to go.
We've seen some fun post moves so far. They just haven't finished with buckets.
Offensive foul, good job as Lillard got beat to the spot there by the Cougars, and Jody Anderson running the floor, takes the charge.
It's already 5 team fouls against Champlin Park. That's going to be tough for the road team with 12 minutes left in this first half.
Cougars aggressively taking the ball to the rim. There's only been a couple. Now you got the offensive foul, plus there was one hand check the last time down. Cummings has it knocked away, but tracks it down in the corner. Spinning on the baseline, kicks it out, Cube. She'll take the 3. Well contested there. Missed it off back iron, and the rebound pulled down by Izzy John. Coach Sobolik knows that there's all kinds of tradition with this team. Over the last 9 years, they've won 18 section tournament games. 6 times they've gone to the section title game. We'll get a foul on the Cougars coming up. Cummings called for the push. 3 times they've come away with championships. But he told his team that was coming back in his first year, fall of 2019, you don't have to be all those players. We're not expecting you to do that. Just come out, be you, and we'll get the results to follow. Good drive inside by Counts, and it wouldn't go down. So she, along with the rest of her team, has gone cold here as the Cougars have opened up a 5-point lead with 11:15 to go.
Yeah, she started with those 2 quick buckets, and nobody's gotten anything since.
Mulberry, drive, that baseline jumper, won't go down. Rebound for Cubes underneath, and she'll put it up and put it in. Sydney Cubes has 4 points early. Puts them up by 7. Looking for more defense. Tapped away by Anderson. Tracked down at the free throw line. Fitzpatrick, she'll turn and fire too strong. Nobody home there on the offensive glass. Pushed up by Mulberry. Knocked away and stolen by Stefferud. Fitzpatrick took it away. Cross-court pass, trying to find Valentino. Knocked away there in the battle of 15s by Haley Mulberry. Stefferud will check in now as Fitzpatrick will sit down. Cougars are going to get Marissa Frost back in. She's been a key role player. Go back to the first meeting between these two teams in the regular season. Frost had 14. The game the Cougars led by 4 at the half, ended up winning 68-56. 8 at the half, excuse me, outscored by 4 in the second half. Drive and kick. John, the bucket, finally takes the lid off of it for Champlin Park.
Points off the bench, really beneficial for the Rebels if they can get more of those.
Rebels have been getting good looks too, running their offense, and they just haven't fallen. Great quick move on the baseline, and a good recovery by Stefferud to block it. Loose ball, batted around off the Cougars.
Good effort by Frost. She missed the first shot, but she stuck with the play, trying to make something happen.
These two teams pretty evenly matched here. A little colder shooting start for the Rebels, has them down 5 here. Still 10 minutes to go in the first half. Valentino for 3. Too strong, rebound, saved inbounds, makes its way all the way inside to John. She'll kick it back out, get it right back, battling with Geyer. Sliced along the baseline to cut her off. Back it goes to John. She settles, blocked by the left-handed Jenna Geyer.
John did a lot of work there, and Geyer made it all for naught at the end, just swatting that ball away.
Mulberry to Cummings, back to Mulberry, trying to get it to Geyer. Geyer for her own points up against John, and she'll knock it home. I feel like this is getting personal over there for you.
As much as I love, a good post pivot move and whatnot, nothing makes me happier than a post player just grabbing the ball and turning and putting it into the basket. She already established her position, and she never put it on the floor.
Stefferud drops in the 3 to get them back there within 4 at 13-9. Ball batted around, and a reach-in foul is going to be called on the Cougars here. So it's 5-1, and the foul differential to start. The hold there is the 3rd team foul on Centennial.
The second on Cummings so far. Nice job by Nikki Lillard to get that ball, hold on to it, and force the turnover.
KJ Tharp checks in. Fresh legs off the bench as you take a look at it there. That's Lillard doing the work to earn the foul. Live play, Fitzpatrick drives, had it poked away. Cougars in transition off the turnover. Cummings, the secondary break, but she traveled first. A little awkward handoff at the free throw line. Grace Pullman also checks in for Centennial. So Geyer already on the bench getting a rest. Cummings goes to the bench as well. Drive, Stefferud on the baseline, flings that to no one in particular, stolen by Pullman. She has to come to a jump stop. Good passing right into the middle, a little bit behind Tharp. She can't control it, and it's poked away. Right idea, poor execution. Lillard along the sideline, hounded there. Kick out 3, Valentino too strong, and right there goes Tharp to pick it up. A sophomore, Tharp averaging 2 points a game, playing behind Jenna Geyer.
There's been a noticeable uptick in sloppiness of play since we've gone deeper into the benches for these two teams. And Centennial really controlled the game when the starters were on the floor to begin.
Mulberry, she drives, blocked by the left hand of Doree. Out of bounds it went though. She had the handle. It'll be Centennial ball. 8-minute mark here as Counts comes back in. She has 4 of the 9 for the Rebels. Anderson dribbles her way into post position, got a defender in the air, throws it up against contact. The official going to call the kickball. If she goes up with that when she got the defender in the popcorn maker, she might have gotten the call, but by the time things came down, she settled back in and put it up, no whistle.
She also popped those elbows out pretty good, and I think she was borderline looking at an offensive foul if she'd made contact with going up for the shot with her elbow stuck out like that.
13-9. Counts off the dribble, hands behind to a deep Stefferud 3. That one won't go down. Cougars didn't communicate. Everybody just let the rebound go. It bounces to Fitzpatrick. She'll go up and she's fouled. We'll go to the free throw line in a 4-point game.
The boxing out was so good, nobody wanted to give up on it. But all you got to do is step in and grab that ball. And in fact, you can all do it, right? You've already established there's no reason to let someone else do that. Be aggressive, go get the ball.
Kayla Counts, the junior, can't hit the front end 14 times in double figures. 19 games. She tied her season high with 19 in the first round against Park Center. Stepping up at a big moment. 5 straight wins for this Champlin Park Rebels team under a first-year head coach. They've won 7 of their last 9 after starting 4 of 6. Free throw for Counts gives her 5 in the game, makes it a 3-point contest. So as poor a shooting start as the Rebels had, Cougars couldn't stretch the lead too much. Geyer's back in there. She's right in the post again. Spins it up with the left hand. Not much you can do about that. 15-10.
She's got 8 of those 15. She's clearly been the difference maker early on for Centennial.
Counts in the lane, just holds the pivot foot as she kicks it back out.
Did she?
Drive to the free throw line. Doree can't hit the jumper. Cubes to Anderson. A little bit of a mishandle there. She'll drive, past counts, didn't want to contest, and Anderson will finish.
There has been so much of that for Centennial here in the first half, and that would be the most concerning thing if I'm Coach Arthur Crutch right now. The way that Centennial is able to get to the basket in 2 different ways, either driving or feeding it inside to Geyer, or let's add a third. How about the cuts? I mean, Centennial has been able to get points in the paint throughout.
Stolen on the back end by Frost. That might have been a situation where Counts thought she had help, and she didn't, just the way she played it. Right inside the Geyer. She's in the paint, spins. She's taller than everybody and fires it home with that great touch. 10 points.
You don't, as a defender, you don't want the offensive player to be using that little circle down below like the three-point line. Like, you don't just leave them open to shoot that.
Stolen by Cube. She lost her dribble, needs some help. Geyer was pushed to the deck there. She tried to hand it off in traffic. A little strong with the basketball. They're going to get bailed out with the call here. Little 6-0 run. Coach Crutch coming over from Chanhassen a season ago. Storm have had 3 coaches in the last 3 years now, with Crutch moving here to Champlin Park. Reestablish what the Rebels have done as Anderson will drive, can't finish with the right hand.
Chanhassen is a program facing an uphill battle when you have to battle Chaska over the last few years with one of the top players in the state who's headed to the University of Minnesota.
Look at that shot. Gotta love the rim cam here. Shows the free throw roll through.
It's impressive what we can do when we get a full crew.
Ooh. Second free throw, no good. Nearly offensive glass. Yeah, Preston was out here early, taking the lead on that one. Basically doing laps with a ladder is what I saw. So he's getting the workout in too. 3-pointer, no good for Lillard. Cubes, make it Anderson drives. Never really had that one settled in there. Rebound saved by the Rebels.
Nice job by Lillard to save that.
7-0 run for the Cougars, ended with the short jumper for Stefaru, her second bucket of the day.
Good pull-up, good confident shot, and she knocks it down. Much needed bucket.
It was a 3-point game before the Cougars went on that run to take command once the starters came back into the game. Cubes left alone. Hoist that one up too strong. Rebound inside for Frost. She'll put it back up and in. Clean in the glass. 3 points in the first half for Frost.
What an exciting freshman.
They do tend to reload. Counts in the lane. Sends it back out to Lillard.
Lillard basically saved a turnover there because that had travel or double dribble written all over it, and somehow she maintained her composure.
Everybody's having trouble handling this basketball. I don't know if it's brand new or what, but both teams a little bit of trouble. Post position for John this time. She'll put it up and in, plus a foul.
Sure, for John, it's nice to get a couple of buckets on the offensive end. She only averages 3.5 points per game, but she's doing a lot of work defensively to try and stick with Geyer. If she can give any of that back for her team on the other end, that helps.
One free throw, rattles out, rebound to Anderson. John has 4. Cougars by 8. This lead was 10 moments ago. A cutting Cubes right up with it, no hesitation. No surrender, and 6 points for Cubes. Right to the bucket on the other end, and Counts takes a page from that same book. She has 7. Answering back, but the margin's sitting here at 8 now with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Winner gets the winner of Roseville and Spring Lake Park. Tapped away from Geyer. It's going to stay with the Cougars. Back in comes Mulberry. Mentioned early on 6 times to the section title game in the last 9 years for the Cougars. Last time in the section title game for Champlin Park was in 2016. Also went back in 2014. That 2014 matchup was a loss to these Cougars for the Rebels. A little aggressive there, not open was Mulberry, but tapped out of bounds, so the Cougars will survive and take it.
Yeah, agree with that. Pass shouldn't have happened, but good work by Valentino to be the person making it, so it shouldn't have happened.
Geyer with position, double teams come, kick out, 3 ball just short. And a foul on a reach in on Geyer.
Ooh, you could see the Champlin Park bench getting up excited. They're thinking Geyer's got 2, yep.
Best defense against a big often is to try and get him in foul trouble and put him on the bench, especially one as talented as Geyer. That's not a foul that they'll love to see, but it's 2 fouls really in the last couple of minutes here. She had that foul on the bucket that was good for John on the other end. And now they'll reach in on the rebound, so she'll sit likely the rest of the way here. That puts KJ Tharp into the game, in the spotlight defensively as well. Rebels start out by clearing out inside and throwing it away. I would have gone right back to John in there against Tharp, the sophomore, and see what she could do. Turnover instead, 8-point lead. Anderson running against Lillard, has to cross over. Jump stops just shy of the midcourt line. Offense will start on the left wing with Mulberry now dribbling left to right. On the move, Cubes right down the lane, too strong, and the rebound controlled by John. Counts, traveled.
Ooh.
These two teams, since 2009, have met in the playoffs 5 prior times. 2 times in the championship game. This is just the 2nd semifinal matchup of those now 6 meetings. Cougars have gone 5-0.
Double-digit turnovers for Champlin Park here in the first half. That's a troubling number for them.
Frost kick, corner 3. Cubes will knock it down. First triple of the night for Centennial, and it gives them their first 11-point lead. 3-point game at 13-10. Since then, a 14-6, now 14-8 run. Good knifing move by Lillard. Drive for Anderson to the rim, challenged by John. Loose ball to Lillard, poked away. She settles it down, knocked out of bounds by Cubes.
Each team has had 4 players score in this game, so the scoring's been a little bit consolidated.
One of the shockers there is Camille Cummings without a bucket, one of the top 3 scorers for the Cougars. She's also on the bench in foul trouble. Lillard drives against 2 defenders, has it ripped away by the second one, Mulberry. She'll lead the break. Anderson out of the corner, right to the rim. She'll finish with the right hand. Jody Anderson on her way to the University of North Dakota, looking like another former Cougar at North Dakota. Claire Orth gliding to the bucket. Drive and a foul early. I'll say she was going up.
That was one thing that you could always count on with Orth, is she was going to be running. It's just constant movement. Had the legs from the soccer season to just go, go, go. It seems like that's what she's doing up at North Dakota, focusing on defense, just running up and down. Fouls have been interesting here in the first half. Remember how we called out the foul trouble that we saw from Champlin Park? They really calmed it down over the last 10 minutes, only getting a couple of fouls since then.
A couple times they've been able to settle in, or rather since that early stretch, they've been able to settle in, play a little smoother. Those turnovers, the exception of that. So we're just outside of 80 seconds remaining in the first half. Second one, no good. Long rebound tracked down by Tharp. Cougars up by 11. It's been their largest lead so far. Anderson, big part of getting them there with 7 points. Great cut and feed from Tharp, and it just rolls out. KJ Tharp, the sophomore, making a beautiful feed. Counts. Nearly traveled, but got the pass away. Rebound batted around and controlled by the Rebels.
Yeah, things are getting a little physical out there, and we haven't seen much for whistles.
John skips it across. Drive for Counts. Let one go with the floater. It wouldn't go down. Rebound Stefrud underneath, and they'll call the push against the Cougars here. And it'll be a 1-and-1 for Stefrud. 45 seconds to go in the half. Anderson, she's been the scorer here with both Cummings and Geyer on the bench. Their top scorer this season, 2 of the last 3. She's gone to 20 points. 4 times total this season at a season high of 25 against Osseo. Free throw no good, so they missed the opportunity on the 1-and-1. 40 seconds to go, up 11, matching the largest lead right now for Centennial. And they say over and back as that was received by Mulberry before she crossed the timeline. They've been tight with some of those passes to the midcourt line. Not exactly establishing themselves in the half court. 29-18. Now the final 30 seconds can belong to Champlin. Neither of these teams has been what you'd call slow on the offensive end. This time more deliberate for Champlin Park to Counts with 19. Down the lane, spinning in the lane, surrounded by Cougars on the kick out. Stefrud to the baseline. She had it slipped away. Right to John though. Put it up, off glass, no good. Rebound, Stefrud inside, trying to put it up again against the Cougars. A whistle and a foul is going to bail them out here. 4 seconds to go. And they call KJ Tharp. First free throw nets down for Stefrud. She was 6 in the first half. Their 3rd leading scorer this season. Turned it on late in the season. 9 double-figure games have all come in the final 17. Nothing in the first 6. She hits both free throws. Final 4 seconds. It's into Anderson. 29-20. Poked away from Anderson. Oh my. All right, they get the reach-in foul. That's going to send Anderson to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Counts is going to be whistled for that. That's her first.
Well, it's tough. Anderson 1 for 2 at the free throw line in this game. And I mean, it's tough for Champlin Park.
Anderson's first is good. Trying to get those 2 back there. Stefrud just knocked down. She will to tie the largest lead of the game. Final .9. Counts doesn't even let it go. Can't get close enough to do it. 31-20 at the break. Cougars have the lead. They maintained it most of the way throughout that first half, expanded back to 11 with a couple of late free throws. We'll have the second half to determine this semifinal matchup here in 5-4A. Cougars up 11 on North Metro TV. Cougars up 31-20 in this 5-4A semifinal matchup, trying to make it 6 wins in 6 tries against Champlin Park in the postseason since 2009. Jenna Geyer led with 10 points, 9 apiece for Sydney Cubes and Jody Anderson. 7 points on the other side apiece for Michaela Counts and Gina Stefrud. John, at times this felt like it was a tighter ball game than 11. Cougars did a good job when starters were in there to expand that lead back out. Free throws at the end set us at 31-20. What do you see as those big keys in the second half?
Well, I think if you're Centennial, foul trouble is part of it, right? Some of their top starters were finding themselves in foul trouble down the stretch, so they had to sit. Transition points for all the turnovers that Champlin Park had in that first half. How many points in transition did Centennial have? Very few, if any, throughout that time. And then Cummings. I mean, part of it's foul trouble, but she's a player who usually contributes heavily to the scoring for Centennial. She did not in the first half. On the other side for Champlin Park, The turnovers we talked about that Centennial wasn't taking advantage of, they need to cut down on those. They need to defend the rim, and especially on cuts. It feels like those plays are so easy. Not a cut, but an easy play. And then the third one was free throws. They went 1 for 6 from the free throw line in the first half.
Did not defend the rim on Jenna Geyer. Back in there with 2 fouls. Cummings 2, who taps it away, gets it back from Cubes, running in transition. She's got Anderson ahead and just didn't see her. Goes the other way instead for Frost. Back to Cummings. Cummings off the bounce, in the lane. Floater, back rim, no good. Rebound, Geyer rips it away, keeps it alive back to Cubes. Right back into Geyer. Little bit of a mismatch, but blocked away by Stefferud. It's going to stay with Centennial as they expand to their largest lead of the game at 13 right now, 33-20.
I was going to say, that's not what Stefferud signed up for, but she is guarding. Well, they knew that the switch was coming, so they had it set up.
Geyer lobs inside to Cummings. Nearly had it poked away. Instead, it was a tie-up, they say. And so good hands over the top there for Alicia Bates.
Champlin Park has been aggressive with some reaching opportunities here in the second half.
Bates walking the thin wire too. She had 2 fouls, one of the starters for Champlin Park that picked up early fouls and sat on the bench. Poked away by Cubes, loose ball. Ooh, they'll say over and back even though Cubes tapped that.
Cubes did tap it, but Champlin Park got a hold of it as they were crossing over. And I guess unlike the NFL where your momentum carries you into the end zone, it's not a touchback, or it's not a safety.
Not the place you want to go. Cummings has it. This first #1 defense in Section 5. Anderson, a deep 2. Wide open, takes it, won't roll home. Geyer the rebound, puts it right back up and missed off right side. Good falling away defense there, just enough from Champlin Park to make it a tough finish for Geyer.
Shot by Jody Anderson is maybe the most confusing shot of our times right now. She's wide open. You would think you take a wide open shot. She's also a step inside the arc, so it's a long 2. And the way that the three-pointer has become valued, not just at the NBA level, but at all levels of basketball, makes people question you taking a wide open look like that when you're a guard.
Camille Cummings drives her way into the foul, and credit her for continuing to attack here. Slow offensive day, 2 fouls. A part of that, as John mentioned. First free throw rattles in and out. She went double figures in 13 games this season. Season high 21 points at Armstrong. 6 times this year for the Cougars in 19 games, made at least 2 3-pointers, but she can't hit the free throw there as it was tapped out by Izzy John, who came into the game off the bench. She was impressive in the first half.
She got a lot of minutes in that first half. I agree. Was probably the best player to match up with Geyer.
So that's a battle to watch. John maybe not quite the offensive player yet as Anderson goes right up with it, blocked by one of the 2 defenders over there. John was on the spot. Might have got most of that. Stefferud straight into a 3, just nicks the rim and goes out of bounds.
I think we've seen 2 essentially air balls from Stefferud when she shot 3s in this game.
Well, it is a big part of the game, and obviously not disputing what you just said, but this game so far, it hasn't been just a pair of 3s made, 1 by each side so far.
Well, I think the conventional wisdom is either at the rim or from behind the arc right now in most of basketball, and Centennial's getting to the rim. You're not going to pass up on those shots.
Cummings has it stripped away late by Maya Fitzpatrick. Patrick got the size, some hands, some handles. Excellent player for Champlin Park. Bounces that one inside. It was short of a falling Stefferud and then lobbed up by Geyer as Anderson couldn't quite release out of the blocks there. Tracked down again by Fitzpatrick. Spinning jumper, no good. Just a little unsettled as Cubes pulls down the rebound. Still just 1 bucket in this second half. Belongs to Jenna Geyer. Anderson, another deep jumper. That one she nets it, so at least you can live with the result that time. She was just a step and a half or so inside the 3-point line. Anderson makes it a 4-0 run to start the half. They're up by their largest lead, and head coach Arthur Crutch wants to take a timeout to get his team back centered in this matchup. 15:09 to go. It was good returns in the first half for Spring Lake Park, or other team that we're watching too, as they were giving Roseville the 2 seed all they could handle.
Yeah, they were up by 4 last I saw. I want to go back to Jody Anderson hitting that 2. The first time she took the long shot and she missed it, I'm not saying that was a bad shot to take. I'm saying it's a different mindset that all of us have in watching this sport. And analytics has done that to multiple sports, right? We're just used to seeing massive shifts in baseball now, whereas that was almost never a thing even 20 years ago in the game. Most sports are really making huge adjustments. You know, NFL teams still refuse to go for it on 4th down or go for 2 points as much as they probably should based on analytics, but basketball has made a huge transition top to bottom around the country in terms of how they value the three-pointer and how they value the long two attempt. And those two things have trended in different directions.
Coach Crutch valued some of the experience that he's had on this team in his first season.
So at the half, by the way, Spring Lake Park now leads 40-24.
Ooh, that escalated quickly, as a man once said. 35-20 here, up by 15, a 4-0 run to start the half, so it's 6-0. Going back to those final free throws as Geyer knocks it away from John, trying to get the entry pass. Geyer saves it inbounds, but Champlin Park controls it. Lob to John, face up on Geyer, one-on-one battle in the post, puts up the right-hand hook and knocks it down. Izzy John with 6 in the game. Gets the Rebels on the board here in half number 2, back to 13.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Spring Lake Park finished on a 26-5 run at the end of the first half.
Jody Anderson called for the moving screen. That'll be her second foul, so each of your top 3 scorers for the Cougars with 2 fouls right now. Headed down to the 14.5-minute mark. Lob too strong. Tap though, right to Counts. Drive and kick. John, the late contest there, and just missed the free throw line jumper. Cummings a little off balance, settles it back in. Cubes got a defender in the air, draws 3 more, couldn't finish off back rim. Tapped out by Geyer.
The idea that Centennial might win this game without Cummings scoring a single point, I don't think that's how they would have planned things. And there's lots of time left, but the fact that she still hasn't gotten anything is a surprise.
9 from Cubes, but she averages 8, so it's not like she's playing that far outside of what she has done this year. Defense making it tough on the Rebels. Fitzpatrick against 2 defenders, lost it. Outlet, Cummings with Anderson. Beautiful bounce pass feed right to left. Anderson plus a foul.
There it is, transition. That makes those turnovers so much more painful for Champlin Park.
Couldn't have timed it better for Camille Cummings there. Anderson sprinting wide to get into that lane. 3-point play completes. 14 for Anderson. 16-point lead for the Cougars. It held Champlin Park to 2 points here in this half. Almost 4 minutes gone. Counts, flings it out to Fitzpatrick. She lost it. Frost trying to settle it down. Cummings, corner 3, spotted up, halfway down and out. Rebound for Frost, she'll go back up too strong.
That was not a great shot, and she almost put it in on that second chance play.
Coach Sobolik might have been asking for some contact there that sent Frost down to the deck. Great entry pass, blocked by Geyer. Cummings continues to attack, poked away. Cubes had it for a moment, and now Geyer was fouled as that timeout was being called, and that's the only thing that kept the foul from being whistled. But it'll be a timeout for the Cougars. Coach Sobolik was right there in the ear of the official. So the Cougars led it at the half by 11. They've expanded that lead to 16 now, as they've outscored them 7-2 to start things here in half number 2. 90-18 over the last 4 years for the Cougars. That is an .833 win percentage. Obviously, Coach Jill Becken likely, as Coach Sobolik said in his entry interview when he got the job and took over for Coach Becken, likely going to be a Coach's Hall of Famer there for what she did in her 2 stints at Centennial. But obviously had this program rolling at a high clip. Understated defense sign, but I like it. Usually they're a little bigger, right? Like you could actually stick the picket fence out in front of your house. But the effort is there. And they do love their seniors.
Well, you know,
Just four of them.
With home prices being what they are, maybe that's all the big events that they could afford.
Cubes to inbound. Cougars set in the half court. Handoff to Cummings, turning towards the bucket, and she got caught up on the foot of a Rebel. Nothing really there to whistle, but a frustrating semifinal for Camille Cummings, to say the least, so far. Her team still, though, up by 16. She likes her chances to maybe have another shot at impacting the postseason.
And just because she's not scoring doesn't mean she's not having an impact on this game.
Frost nearly stole it away. It bounces back to Counts. Crosses it over, tipped out by Cubes. And she had 18 in the first one, but you're absolutely right. You go back to that feed to Anderson, the defense that she can play on the perimeter.
I think the defense has been great. Watching the hands of Cubes, Anderson, Frost, they're deflecting all sorts of balls.
Fitzpatrick resets to Counts. She'll settle for the straightaway three. If that's a settle, she'll take it every time. Knocks it down, nothing but net. She's the first to double figures for the Rebels. Makes it a 13-point game again. Needed that big. Cubes to answer. Bang! Down it goes, and Sydney Cubes puts them back up by 16.
13 and 16 aren't that big a difference, but the deflating feeling that you get as the trailing team when you hit a three and the other team comes in and does the exact same thing. Points have been so much harder to come by for Champlin Park that was a huge make for Cubes.
Off back iron on the three to maybe answer for Doree. Yeah, Cubes has 12 in the game. Her last 6 have come from beyond the arc. And a foul called on John. That's her second. Cubes will sit after the big three. Grace Pullman, a junior, checks in.
Yeah, check her for some blood. Got a little tiny cut on her leg. That's what pulled Cubes out.
Baseline to Anderson. Inside to Geyer, looking to distribute 100% there. Back out to Frost. Geyer, top of the key. Straightaway three. Pullman knocks it down. She becomes the 5th scorer in this game, but the 2nd straight possession to end with a 3, and it's a 19-point lead. Hand check foul called on Cummings. That'll be her 3rd.
One of the very few things that the Cougars didn't do well in the first half was hit threes, and now that has come into their game here in the second half with multiple players finding that range.
1 in the first. They've already hit 2 here in the second. Delayed whistle as Lillard McDoree was fouled. Going to the bucket, a chance to shoot some free throws. Be the 3rd team foul on Centennial. 3 either way. Cubes is set to check in. About Grace Pullman. She goes into the game just because of a cut, scrape, something on the leg of Cubes. Steps right into a big straightaway 3 off a kick out, knocks it down. She'll stay in there too as Anderson gets a breather. First free throw down for Doree. Her first points of the day. Can't hit the second. Rebound tapped to Cubes. Trying to get that inside, stolen away. That's the length of Fitzpatrick. Oh, the reach-in foul as she was going up.
Fitzpatrick has some height, but man, she showed it off on both ends there. First, full extension to reach up and snag that ball for the steal. And then as she headed towards the basket, 2 long strides to take her down the lane as she's being fouled.
Hits the first free throw. 4 of the last 9. She's been in double figures. At 20 points in a regular season meeting against Blaine. 17 in the first round against Park Center was her high since then. She hits both free throws here. They're going to need a lot from her. It's her first 2 points of the day. They're going to come back and win this one. 44-28. 3-0 run off 3 of 4 free throw shooting for Champlin Park. Back to Geyer inside. She's fouled going up. Head down for Coach Crutch. Not a whole lot there battling against Geyer.
I think the foundation for Geyer is so strong. We've seen her smart decisions in the post to be quick. We've seen her with some good moves in the post to pivot. Her passing to find her teammates when she's gotten inside. She's got a decent mid-range shot and in, I would say. And then here, she took it to the hoop. And so really showing off her range in this game.
Yeah, we talked about the strides she's made in high school. I mean, then you put that at the collegiate level at D1, and when Green Bay can get their hands on her full time, what kind of player they can turn her into at that level. Corner three, no good for Stefarud. Excuse me, that was Valentino. Rebound batted out. It will be Cougar ball, up by 18. Jody Anderson in for Geyer, so the Cougars will go a little smaller here. No Geyer presence in the middle. Poked away from Anderson. Call a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Cougars, so the Cougars have to be ready for this pressure. Excellent double team jumped in there by Counts and Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick trying to shadow Jody Anderson, keep her away from the basketball. Cubes needs help, gets it to Mulberry. Somebody else besides Jody Anderson is going to have to find their way to the bucket here for the Cougars. Try the backdoor cut, knocked away. Counts at it after the initial defense from Valentino. Counts down the lane. She's bumped and fouled by Anderson. That'll be her third. Didn't move the feet fast enough with 10 minutes to go here. There have been some playoff meetings, obviously Northwest Suburban Conference regular season meetings all time between these two teams. But the game I wish, and just didn't have the time to maybe go back in the library the way things are operating to see if we had any footage of one or two of these games I'm about to discuss from all the way back in 2006. Straightaway three, knocked down by Valentino. She's had a couple of opportunities at that. Hasn't hit one until then, and she makes it a 15-point game. Champlin Park against our two teams, two of our teams, Blaine and Centennial in 2006, had a couple of 100-point performances in the regular season. The one against Centennial, check that, they came up just shy of 100 because they lost because Centennial put up 116 against them in a regulation game. Travel down the lane left side, whistled on Haley Mulberry. That was on January 24, 2006. Centennial beat Champlin Park 116-93. And then here's the thing that really caught my eye about it. 7 games later, Champlin Park beat Blaine 105-100. That one took 2 overtimes to get there.
And people think Minnesota high school basketball needs a shot clock.
Yeah, what? I just want to see those games and how that unfolded. Bates, offensive rebound. Out it goes to Lillard for 3, no good. It shouldn't be a wonder, though. Champlin Park was a 23-win team that year. They lost in the semifinals of what was then 7-4A, the section they were in. Anderson spinning, trying to get it up against Lillard. Got it there, too strong. Transition, up ahead, Valentino, excuse me, and they say that was last touch by Valentino.
Yeah, she got a fingertip on it. I got to imagine the defense was optional in those games back then.
Cougars won the 7-4A title that year, went 23-7. Not as good a season for Blaine, which makes that maybe the biggest aberration there, that they put up 100 and lost in 2 overtimes to a 20-win team. Bengals just went 7-20. And a foul called on Stefarud pushing. So we won't necessarily have a format to use that until maybe the next time we see these two teams play in the regular season.
But you want the flashback footage.
I want it. I mean, when Kenton Kipp has a little more time and everybody can be back in the office with more regularity, let's send him into the old reel-to-reel from 2006. It's his Cougars. I mean, he has to remember it. 46-31. Ball was tapped out by the Rebels. And a kick ball. Just 8.5 to go here. Cougars outscoring Champlin Park in the second half, 15-11. That still expanded the lead to 15 as Cummings lost it in the lane, turns right to the bucket though, put it up, had it blocked out of bounds. As they say, last touch by Cummings. Coach Sobolik can't believe that would be last touch by his player if it was blocked, but that's how they'll roll on. John in the corner. Cut, stolen away by Sydney Cube. She's having an excellent game on both ends of the floor. Pullman drives. Pullman tries to get the left hand up there.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. She avoids the travel at the top, which is, legitimately she did not. And then she did not travel, I mean. Then you thought there might have been a foul coming down the lane. That isn't called, I think rightly so. And then she fumbles it out of bounds and they say it was blocked away. Just all sorts to take in on that drive.
Blocking foul as Anderson tries to spin past Counts. And we've kind of ground to a halt here after those buckets for the Cougars put them up by 18 at one point. Rebels have chipped away at the free throw line, but not much offense either way. The ball had been given off to Cubes, but a late horn will get Fitzpatrick into the game. Counts will sit. That's her third foul, so buy her a couple of minutes here. Offense for defense, maybe. Tipped out. That's part of the reason why the Cougars can't get things rolling on offense. The Rebels get to every passing lane, knocking the ball around. Thursday would be the championship. We could have a cat clash of Cougars and Panthers. Good back cut there, knocked around again, out of bounds by the Rebels. Not one we've had often. Certainly not with championship on the line between Spring Lake Park and Centennial in girls basketball. Drive for Camille Cummings, front of the rim, can't get it to go, a little too strong. Rebound and possession finally terminated by the Rebels. Fitzpatrick bouncing along to the pass for Valentino. To John, one-on-one, still look to distribute, now goes to work, left-hand hook, no good, Cummings the rebound. Cubes, stutter steps on that three. Offense rolling through the middle. Back cut for Cummings. Collapsed on. Anderson three. Off back iron, no good. Rebound tapped out of bounds by Grace Pullman. Out official has to help. The Rebel ball.
I appreciate an official who will defer if they didn't see. Be honest about it. Imagine that ball felt like it was coming right at his face, so he might have closed his eyes and flinched a little bit.
Too good of a view. Drive and a kick and knocked away by Geyer. They had 5-on-4 there, but the second pass found the right hand of Geyer. She'll go with the quick move to the left hand, too strong. Lillard does a good job staying strong, the sophomore there, pulling it away from Cubes, the junior. Extra passing, open look for John, too strong. Just not making enough shots here, John. They're getting some good looks. They did in the first half. And the shot making has gone to the Cougars. Down goes Anderson halfway down on the lane with the right hand, but she'll get the foul. Time a wasting here for the Rebels. A chance to go up by 17 now with Anderson at the free throw line.
This has been just all Cougars here in the second half without them working that hard to get it, right? It's not like they are doing everything right and dominating. And Champlin Park has not been able to score with any regularity here in the second half. And they're continuing to turn the ball over. So, you know, they're repeating the mistakes that they had in the first half while compounding it with new issues. Not a way to put yourself back into a basketball game against a higher seed.
Anderson hits the free throw. She's the leading scorer in the game with 16. Puts them up by 17. Shot inside, no good for the Rebels. Back cut, Anderson, great kick. Free throw line jumper, nothing but the bottom of the net. And Geyer showing that mid-range game is locked in there. Her second mid-range jumper that she's put down for her 16 points. Three ball left side, too strong, Stefarud.
It's been a really strong game for Geyer. Fun to watch, versatile on the offensive end and contributing all over the floor.
Cougar defense held opponents to 49 points a contest with 5:45 to go. They've got the Rebels sitting on 31 here. Deep three for Cubes, off back iron. Rebound into the hands of Frost. She'll go back up, too strong, got it again. That's Cummings, excuse me. And she just couldn't pull it away. from the Rebels. Bates in transition. High floating finish.
That was a fun bucket.
Her first points of the night. Rebels have scored 13 here in the second half. Cougars have put up 19 here, but it's been enough as in goes Frost. Can't finish. Rebound for the Rebels. Bates down to the deck. She's tied up. Possession arrow will go to Champlin Park. Cougars held Andover under 40 points early in the year, gave up 37, just their second game of the year. Coon Rapids was held to 39.
This Cougar starting five has been really dominant throughout the course of this evening. Great workout out there by the players on the floor right now.
Won't be a season best for defense, though, as they held Anoka to 24 points in a full game.
Wow.
64-24. Helped in that average of 18 points on the win margin in their 18 wins thus far. Just one loss, and that was to Elk River, avenged in their second meeting of the season. They beat the Rebels earlier this year. Back cut, Anderson ended up underneath the rim and couldn't finish. Over the last 16 seasons, Cougars have won 28 of 38 against Champlin Park. It's been a lot closer of late. Counts can't hit inside. Rebound Frost. Nobody stops her all the way to the rim. Too strong. Geyer has the rebound, flips it out. Anderson leans into Fitzpatrick and gets the foul with just outside of 4 minutes to go. They're up 17. Cougars just a 7-6 edge since 2014, but they won 17 of 19 head-to-head in this matchup between 2007 and 2014.
Centennial firmly in the bonus, so free throws the rest of the way.
Anderson has 17. Hunting that fifth 20-point game and trying to get there for the third time in the last 4 games. Second free throw gives her 18.
By the way, Panthers holding serve early on in the second half. 11 minutes left in that game. Spring Lake Park up 50-33 over Roseville. So inching our way closer to a cat clash.
A return to the den for a cat clash. Gonna be fun. Barring a miracle here or there, counts with it. 19-point lead off the made free throws for the Cougars. 3 ball, no good for Doree. A rebound controlled by Frost, out to Cummings. Camille Cummings still has not scored, and I'm with you. I would be flabbergasted if she doesn't, and yet they're still gonna get it done, likely, certainly without significant scoring from her.
I mean, with ease, they're getting it done. Speaks to the strength of the rest of this team.
And holding an opponent to 33. Cube's a big part of that with her 12 as Doree drives, can't finish. Cube's on the wing. Cougars last year, before everything came to a halt, won 21 games, lost in the Section 5 finals. That game was not particularly close at Anoka. Elbow jumper, Anderson rattles it home, and there's 20 for Jody Anderson for the 5th time this season. And they're hoping to put themselves right back in that title game with a chance to go back to the state tournaments for these seniors. For a chance to put a capping chapter on their Cougar career. That one rolls out. Stay with Champlin Park. 21, the largest lead of the game right now off that jumper from Anderson. I'm thinking season high, that was 25 points at Osseo. Drive inside for Bates. She has 4 in the second half. Cubes to the rim, hooks it up, no good. Geyer right there for the follow, couldn't put it back. She's fouled. And we'll go to the free throw line. Jenna Geyer already has 16.
Yeah, it looked like the newcomer onto the floor getting into the action by picking up a foul, so Ashley Mell with her first.
Jenna Geyer hits the free throw.
And we didn't track her rebounds, but if she doesn't have the double-double tonight, I would be shocked.
Would have been her 8th. Second one is good. She's got 18 points. Bates again. Foul trouble for her in the first half might have spelled most of the concern, or a lot of concern, for that Champlin Park offense. She's been a spark here in the second. We'll go to the free throw line.
And this is a tough finish for these Rebels, right? 3 seniors in the starting lineup. And they just didn't have what it would have taken to take down Centennial tonight.
Sydney Cubes with 12 points. Meanwhile, for the Cougars, season high was 18 at Totino Grace. Just the 4th time, though, she's scored 12 or more in a game. Hit a big 3 late in the first half, and a big one to answer what could have been a momentum builder for Champlin Park early in the second half. Cougars are up by 20, 56-36. That floater won't go for Cubes. As we're under 2 minutes, and a whistle and a foul as Fitzpatrick spinning. Go back to the line where her only points have come so far today.
Falls foul the Cougars, number 45, Jenna Geyer. Her 3rd, team 7.
Free throw is good.
Second in for the Cougars, number 13,
So with the Cougars going there, no matter what happens, we're hoping it's a cat clash, but no matter what happens, we'll have that semifinal game for you on Thursday here on North Metro TV. It's slated for 7 o'clock. That one actually, I've just been told, is 6 o'clock on Thursday.
Well, that might be a problem for some of us.
Bring you in as the closer. I'm curious about the 6 o'clock time. It's not like there's another game to play that night. I mean, I understand it, and well, I don't understand the time change. I understand, people with 9 to 5s that might press things, but I'm fine starting a game an hour earlier. We're hearing there might have been some hockey considerations. There's a lot going on this time of year.
Well, let's see. Girls hockey is playing Saturday before Centennial in the quarterfinal round. So this must be the boys
hockey against Maple Grove.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be on CCX. Throw them a little bone for all the coverage, or footage rather, that they gave us for Sports Stand for the teams covering some of those games, including what was a Centennial girls hockey ticket punch to the state tournament. Well, they'll face Edina. Cougar girls basketball team, a minute 12 plus another win away from doing that in high school girls basketball.
I assume we'll be getting some more of those highlights for next week's show as well, if they're going to be the ones covering that hockey game.
Anderson to the free throw line. 21 for her. Knocks that one down. She hasn't missed here late.
No.
Has she missed it all?
Coobs, Anderson, Geyer, those 3 have really done a nice job spreading the points around in this game.
7 of the last 9 for Anderson have come at the free throw line to help close this out. We're under the final minute. Can we get the Camille Cummings bucket here? Drive. Hesitation, couldn't finish.
She's saving it for the championship round. Watch her drop 40 on
Let's hope
Thursday.
she can just, well, it's such a mental game. Let's hope she can just flush this one away and bounce back like it was just the game after she scored 18.
I think when your team wins big, you've got to be able to suck this up and say, no big deal. Bad night for me, but we crushed.
Geyer's going to bring it up the floor herself. Now find Cummings. I don't think they're in any hurry to shoot the basketball outside of the fact that, we're up here in the balcony.
Seeing if Cummings will get a bucket.
Asking for Cummings to score, but I don't think she's even going to take it to the rim at this point, up 18. And well, that would be the play to do. Sportsmanship standpoint. And the fans far side love what their team did. They did come out and crush here. Did enough defensively, holding the Rebels to 40 points. Got big double-figure efforts from Cubes, Anderson, and Geyer, led by 22 from Jody Anderson. Her 5th 20-point game, and the Cougars will go to the semifinals, or excuse me, go to the finals for the 7th time in now 10 seasons, hunting their 4th title. That'll be Thursday. We have a final real quick?
We don't have a final. They're behind us, but it will likely be Spring Lake Park.
Looking for a Cat Clash Thursday. Cougars will be there. So will we. 6 o'clock in the Den to decide 5-4A. Cougars win the semifinals 58-40. For my broadcast partner, John Hatt, our entire North Metro TV crew, I'm JW Cox. Congrats to the Cougars. We'll see them again, and all of you, again on Thursday here on North Metro TV. Good night, everybody.